So you're going about your day, everything's fine, and then boom, one text message or one passive-aggressive comment from your partner, or maybe a simple mistake at work, and instantly you're spiraling. Your heart's racing, your mind is just catastrophizing, and before you know it, your entire day is just ruined. We've all had those days, right? And then you spend hours or even days playing defense against your own mind, and you try and use your logic to calm yourself down and think your way through it. Maybe you try and distract yourself, but it doesn't work. The spiral just pulls you deeper into anxiety and frustration, or maybe even shame. You just feel exhausted because you're constantly reacting to your triggers instead of being able to manage them and control them. Well, if this is you, I want you to know you're not broken and you're not too sensitive or defective in any way. You're just trapped in a reactive emotional loop. You're relying on an outdated childhood emotional blueprint operating system. And the key to breaking free is proactive emotional regulation. So basically, training your nervous system before the spiral hits, not scrambling to manage it during or after. So in this video, I'm going to show you why waiting until you're triggered to use those coping skills is just a recipe for failure. And I'm going to explain my 5-step change process to help you rewire your neural pathways. And I'll give you a proactive emotional regulation framework so you can stop the spiral before it even starts. You're going to get ahead of it, all right? So to start with, I just want to kind of shift your paradigm that most people only think about emotions and emotional regulation after they've been hijacked by a trigger. Well, if you think about it, that's no different than trying to put your seatbelt on after you've already crashed the car. Because when you get triggered, your brain experiences a complete limbic system hijack. Your prefrontal cortex, your ability to think through it and logic your way to a better conclusion, it just shuts down. And what takes over is what's called your adapted wounded child. It just grabs your wheel. It's running your outdated emotional blueprint. So for us to stop that spiral, we have to understand the 5-step change process of rewiring a neural pathway. Now, the first step, when the limbic hijack happens. And so you respond with your usual sort of spiral, and hours later you realize you just didn't use your emotional regulation tools, right? So the first step is recognition is well after the event. Step 2, the hijack happens. You consider using the tools, but you don't want to let the anger or the anxiety go because it just feels familiar. So even though you've thought of trying it, you just sort of hold on and you repeat the pattern that you know. Now, the third step in change is kind of the hardest. This is when the hijack happens. You consider using the tools, but now you actively choose to stay angry or anxious. Because now it feels like letting go is kind of a losing connection to something that feels safe. Well, this thing that you're holding on to, that's your survival persona. And in step 4, this is when you remember your tools and you contemplate using them, you contemplate holding on to them, but this time you try little pieces of it, an aspect of the change, but you don't fully embrace the full process, but you've moved forward. The final step in how change works for anybody, whatever the situation is the emotional hijack happens. And in this time, you use the complete emotional authenticity skills that I teach and talk about, you've seen in all my videos. And this time it works. And for the first time, your emotional chemistry proves that you can survive without your survival persona. Now, why is it so hard to stop the spiral once it starts? Why do we get stuck in step 3? Most of us never get past that. The basic change process of step 3 is kind of like everybody's ceiling. And when we're here, this is where we really actively choose to stay angry or panicked or stay the victim. Well, it's not your fault. It's just because your spiral gives you a lot of benefits. They're disempowering, but they are benefits. You see, when you catastrophize or when you rage, it gives your brain a sense of certainty. Your brain would rather experience familiar pain than unfamiliar peace because we don't have an emotional blueprint that knows peace. Remember, almost all of our childhood experiences were negative and shaming. And so to let that go, it feels like letting go of a piece of us. So when you were a child, your brain created a brilliant strategy. To survive those perfectly imperfect, painful moments, you developed a survival persona to protect you from the unhealed pain and shame that, those that were around you, whether it was parents or grandparents, siblings, coaches, teachers, whatever it was, all their unhealed pain in those moments, they transferred that into you. So your anger and your anxiety and your spirals, all of those are your adapted wounded child's connection to the person who dumped that shame into you. Now do you see why step 3 is tough? The letting go. You're like, why wouldn't I just let this go? It makes no sense. I'm holding on to it. Well, that's because no one ever told you the truth. You grabbed on to the people's pain closest to you so that you could form a connection with them. So to let go of that spiral, it really feels like you're losing connection to them. It's subconsciously, that's what's happening to you. So this is why when you're in the middle of a spiral, your body physically tenses up. That false persona is holding on for dear life because it developed this character and this belief system and this pattern of behavior to fit into the family system and survive. So proactive regulation means recognizing this tension really early on and realizing that letting go of the spiral is not a loss of safety or connection with your original caregivers. It's actually the ultimate return to your authentic self and the deepest connection you'll ever have with them, whether they ever admit to their imperfections or not. So I want to give you kind of a visual of how to proactively stop this spiral. And so I want you to imagine you're driving your car down a snowy, really icy mountain road. And that triggers the moment the car hits sort of a patch of ice. Like, just bringing that up, didn't you? You're like, we all remember that moment. Like, our body just reacts and the car starts to slide. And once you start sliding, you really have 2 choices. First one is stay the course, make slight turns, try to manage the slide, but that hill's getting steeper. You're picking up speed. And the situation becomes more and more devastating, more and more scary. The consequences are getting bigger. Well, this is the equivalent of sticking with your current views about the situations, about holding on to the anger and responding in the same way. You're letting that spiral pick up speed and completely losing control of your emotions. Now, the second choice is to intentionally, immediately, drive your car right into the snowbank. Feels counterintuitive. Feels really scary. But do you see instead of managing it and trying to hold on to the old and just going right for it, what does it do? It immediately stops the car before it's picked up speed, before the danger gets worse. There's no damage. You're allowing yourself to hit the snowbank and immediately put on the snow tires for the rest of your journey down the snowy, icy hill, which gets steeper and even worse. So proactive emotional regulation, it's stopping the pattern right then and equipping yourself with the emotional authenticity skills and tools that I teach before that car goes off the cliff. So how do we actually drive that car into the snowbank and stop the catastrophizing and instead of waiting for it to happen? Well, we get proactive and we practice proactively. So my suggestion is that you set an alarm on your phone to go off every 60 minutes. And when it goes off, you're just going to pause and you're going to check in with your nervous system. And you're going to create a new reflexive habit. Basically, I'm going to, before I even get to the ice, I'm going to drive into the snowbank, stop the car, I'm going to check in, make sure I have snow tires. So the process becomes automatic. before the emotional moment, but then it will trigger in the emotional moment. So I do want to warn those, if you're highly dysregulated, and if you catch yourself already starting to spiral and your emotional temperature is high, what I'm about to share with you, these questions that complete the emotional authenticity process so that you can fully equip the car with snow tires and everything you need, and chains if possible. You don't want to jump into these questions. You want to first lower the emotional temperature. And so I want you to titrate. And what that means is I want you to spend 30 seconds focusing entirely on what you can hear. Because when we focus on what we hear, we can't think. All right? This gets us reconnected to our body and down regulates us. Then bring up the trigger for 30 seconds. Do that process back and forth 3 to 5 times. This is going to unstick your emotional thermostat. It's going to down-regulate you. It's going to bring your prefrontal cortex back online. It's going to put you in metacognition, which is the space between intellect and emotion. It's where our authentic self lives. And from this place, we can make our most intellectual, emotional, and intellectual decisions. So once you're grounded, or when that alarm system, your alarm goes off every hour, you're going to start with some questions. And the first one is, what do I want? So when you're spiraling and you're focused on what you fear, you have to learn how to let go of the victim position and the certainty that everything is going to go bad. And ask yourself, what's the opposite of this? What do I actually want? Well, often trauma survivors don't even know what they want. And why is that? Because as children, they had to give up their needs and wants. They had to please their parents. Now, if that sounds like you, move to question number 2. What will I not tolerate? Because since most people don't know what they want, when they list the things that they can't tolerate, you can easily ask yourself, well, what's the opposite of that? Well, now you clearly see it. What you don't want shows you, the opposite of it shows you what you do want and what you feel you deserve. And so now you can start building your needs and wants versus living off the emotional blueprint of what other people, the survival persona you lived in, to make sure other people were taken care of. Okay? Now then you move into step 3 and you ask yourself, in this triggering event, what can I control? See, a spiral is an obsession with things outside of us, other people, places, and things. Things we have absolutely no control over. So instead, we reconnect to our authentic selves, to our inherent value and worth, and our inherent power. And we do that by going inwards and brainstorming ways to address the person, place, or thing in ways that we can control. It's not about changing them. It's not about getting them to be different. It's about changing us and looking at where we can be different. All right? By doing this every single hour, you're laying down myelin. And myelin is the insulative wrap that there's no such thing as muscle memory. When somebody repeats a process, the more they repeat it, it insulates that circuit that fires it. And the more myelin that gets wrapped around it, the better the circuit gets, the quicker it fires, the more reliably it fires. And that's why I'm saying do this every hour. Build myelin. Because we want to really build up this new emotional neural pathway to replace the old one. So basically you're stopping your car, your emotional car, pulling over, putting on the snow tires, chains if you need them. And you're stepping fully into your authentic self before the event. So you don't have to live at the mercy of your triggers. So by proactively driving into the snowbank and asking yourself the unstuck questions, you can rewire your brain to stop the spiral before it starts. Now, if this 10-part series has, hit home for you, I'd recommend going back to the first video in this playlist, because it explains why your coping skills fail in the first place. And it sets the foundation for everything we've covered. The links, again, are down below as always. But if you're sitting there right now just feeling overwhelmed and needing some help, I have something that will help you. Just go to my website, kennyweiss.net, look for the conversation window on the bottom right, and talk to my brand new AI clone. I've uploaded my entire brain, every book, every framework, and every solution you need directly into my AI, and it's completely free to use. It's literally like having a conversation with me. And you can ask it about your triggers, relationship struggles, worst day cycle, learn more about the frameworks I talk about, compare my frameworks to other people's, whatever you want. It's going to give you the exact root cause feedback that I'd give you if we were having a conversation. So test it out. Get some help if you need it, and you can do that right now. Now, while you're there, I really suggest that you take my completely free childhood emotional assessment, because this is going to help you map out the original emotional moments when you experienced all this. You can also take my emotional blueprint quiz, because both of these are going to help you identify the exact emotional origins of your worst day cycle and your emotional blueprint. So for others who are more ready to map out their specific triggers, stop this loop completely, well, check out my books, my online classes, or schedule a freedom assessment where I map out everything for you and lay out a complete comprehensive plan of here's exactly how you do the remapping and rewiring. Whatever you do, just pick whichever one fits where you are in your, remapping, emotional remapping journey. But take your time. Allow yourself the time to process and, feel out what feels best to you. But at least now you know that when you're ready, you have a root level solution, not a symptom-based topical Band-Aid approach. Something that will provide you with the root level emotional regulation you're looking for when you're ready for it. So, and as always, please don't forget, you and those that cared for you are not to blame, and neither one of you are broken. You're just programmed. But programs can be rewritten. We do have to do some work on it. There isn't a magic pill. But don't forget that you and they did the best they could with the information that they had at the time. But now, because you've watched this, you know more. So if you choose, you can equip yourself with the tools that will allow you to do a heck of a lot more. So I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.